The next video in our STAAR series is about fractions, decimals, and percents. It is 6.4G, that's our TEK, and we're talking about converting between the three. So right now I have written up 3/4, 7.75 or 75 hundredths, and 75%, and those are all equivalent. So we're going to quickly talk about how to convert back and forth. If you remember, in the bottom of your notes packet, we had a diagram going back and forth, and that's what we're going to review. So first things first, let's start with a fraction and go to a decimal. When you're going from a fraction to a decimal, my hint to you is to divide. Divide the numerator divided by the denominator. So you're going to divide the numerator divided by the denominator. Remember, this is the numerator and that's the denominator. So if you just divide 3 divided by 4, you will get 0.75. Okay? My next step is going from a decimal to a percent. These are the best thing ever. Easy, easy peasy. For going from a decimal to a percent, all we have to do is multiply by 100. That's it. So 75 hundredths, we multiply by 100. I say times 100, and I get 75. And then you just add your percent onto the end. Easy peasy. Also, you could remember that we're just taking this decimal, I'm finding my decimal, and I'm just moving it over 2 times to the percent. Always 2 times. Okay, if we're going from a percent back to a decimal, so if I'm going back to a decimal, then here we multiply by 100, so going back we're going to divide by 100. So you just divide by 100. Okay? Which actually also can get you to the fraction. So you could write this as 75, you could say divided by 100, or you can say 75 divided by 100. And bam, you've already got your fraction as well. Another easy trick for you, just like over here when we multiply by 100, our Dr. Pepper, we move 2 times to the percent side. If we wanted to go from 75%, if I take this decimal, if I'm dividing by 100, I'm moving 2 times to the left to get me 0.75 or 75 hundredths. Now, finally, to get from a decimal to a fraction. We already kind of talked about how to get the percent all the way to a fraction, but if we just have a decimal to start off with and we want to get to a fraction, my hint to you is to read it out loud with correct decimal placement. Okay? So to get from here, a decimal to a fraction is to read the decimal. Okay? So this is 75 hundredths. Remember, the first place is the tenths, the second place is the hundredths. So this is 75 hundredths. So we can write that as 75 over 100, and bam, you've got your fraction. Now, we always want to make sure that we simplify, so this would then end up simplifying all the way down to 3/4. And that is fractions, decimal, and percent conversions in a nutshell.